What if I told you there's an ancient way to completely transform your home that goes far beyond simply throwing things away? Have you ever wondered why some people manage to keep their homes organized and full of positive energy, while others constantly struggle with clutter and feel overwhelmed by their belongings? Today I'm going to reveal 15 ancient secrets of detachment that have transformed not just homes, but entire lives. These aren't just common organization tricks. They're profound practices that have been used for generations in the East, specifically in Japan, and that completely revolutionized the way you relate to your objects and your space. If you're tired of feeling suffocated by your own things, if every time you look at your home, you feel more heaviness than joy, or if you simply want to discover how to create a home that breathes tranquility and renewal, then prepare yourself for a real transformation. I'll show you how every object in your home can become an ally in creating an environment that nourishes your soul instead of draining your energy. Each of these 15 methods will teach you a completely new perspective on what truly deserves space in your life. And the most incredible thing is that you'll discover how small shifts in perspective can yield extraordinary results, creating not only a more organized home, but a true sanctuary of peace and well-being. Tip 1. The ritual of gratitude before disposal. Did you know that the way you dispose of things can completely transform your relationship with organizing? Most people simply throw things away in a rush, creating negative energy around the entire process. But there's an ancient way of doing it that changes everything. Before you get rid of any item, practice a moment of gratitude. Hold the object in your hands and mentally thank it for the service it provided in your life. That blouse you no longer wear once made you feel beautiful. That broken kitchen utensil helped you prepare delicious meals for your family. Acknowledging this creates a completely different energy. In practice, when you're cleaning out a closet, take a few minutes beforehand to center yourself. Take a deep breath and realize that you're renewing, not discarding. Pick up each item, observe it for a few seconds, and say, "Thank you for being a part of my life." Then place it in the donation pile. This eliminates the guilt many people feel, creates a positive energy around organizing, and transforms the act of cleaning into a moment of reflection and growth. You'll be amazed at how this simple gesture completely changes your experience of organizing your home. Tip 2. The 3 energy rule. Every object in your home carries a specific type of energy, and when you learn to identify these energies, organizing becomes much easier and more effective. There are 3 categories that will revolutionize the way you view your belongings. First, active energy objects. These are the ones you use frequently and that bring real joy to your life. Your favorite book, an essential work tool, that special cup you use every day. These deserve the best places in your home, always accessible and well maintained. Then we have passive energy objects. These are those you keep for sentimental value, but that aren't part of your daily routine. An old photo, a cherished gift, a decorative object you cherish. These can occupy secondary spaces, but in places where you can see them occasionally. And finally, energy-neutral objects. These are the ones that don't evoke any special feelings and have no clear function in your current life. They're usually things you keep by chance or because they might be useful one day. These are prime candidates for discarding. To apply this, take one object at a time and ask yourself honestly, does this item bring me joy, serve a practical purpose, or evoke any special feelings? If the answer is no to all of these questions, it's time to bid it farewell with affection. Tip 3. The conscious touch technique. Your hands are much wiser than you might think. They can sense the energy of objects and give you valuable insights into what truly matters in your current life. Many people make decisions solely with their minds, but your body also has wisdom to offer. When deciding whether to keep or discard an item, hold it in your hands for at least 30 seconds. Close your eyes and pay attention to the sensations. Do you feel lightness or heaviness, warmth or cold, comfort or discomfort? Your body is giving you information that your conscious mind sometimes ignores. Imagine you're organizing your books. Pick up one you haven't read in years. Hold it. Feel its weight, its texture. If touching it makes you want to flip through it again, or if it brings back pleasant memories, keep it. But if it feels heavy, like a burden, it's a sign it's time to donate it. This technique works because our bodies record memories and associations that the conscious mind sometimes misses. An object may seem useful in theory, but if you feel resistance when you touch it, it's because it's no longer aligned with your current energy. Trust your physical intuition. It's rarely wrong. Now, before we move on to the next tips, I want to ask you something very special. If you're enjoying this content and want to receive more videos like this, click the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell. This really helps me continue bringing you quality content. And let me know in the comments where you're watching this video from. I love meeting people from different places who are looking to transform their homes and their lives. Your participation is very important to me. Tip 4. The principle of present utility. Stop saving things for a life that may never happen. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make when organizing their homes. They cling to objects thinking about what they might need in the future, creating a prison of imaginary possibilities. The secret is to value only what is truly useful in the present moment. This doesn't mean being reckless, but rather being realistic about your current needs. How many times have you justified keeping something by saying, "I might need it someday," and that day never came? Ask yourself this simple question for each item. Have I used this in the last 6 months? If the answer is no, ask yourself honestly, is there a realistic chance I'll use this in the next 6 months? If you haven't used that air fryer in the last 2 years, the chances of you using it in the next few months are pretty slim. Choose a room and analyze each category. In the kitchen, examine your utensils. Do you really need 5 different spatulas? Or 3 sets of plates for special occasions that never happen? Keep only what you use regularly, plus a small reserve for situations that are truly part of your life. This will free up real estate, reduce cleaning time, reduce the anxiety of having to manage multiple items, and create a much more functional and pleasant environment. Tip 5. The art of conscious replacement. For every new object that comes into your home, another must leave. This simple rule will prevent you from having to declutter in the future because your home naturally maintains balance. It's not a hard and fast rule, but rather a constant awareness of the flow of objects in your home. The problem is that many people approach organizing as a one-time event, a major annual cleanup, but don't develop habits to keep their space organized. Conscious replacement creates a natural rhythm of renewal. Let's say you bought a new shirt. Before putting it away, examine your current clothes and identify a piece you no longer wear, that's worn out, or that no longer suits your style. This piece goes to make way for the new one. Simple but effective. Another example, you received a new book. Before putting it on the shelf, look through your current collection. Is there one you've already read and don't plan on rereading? Or one you started but haven't caught your eye on? These can be donated. This way, your library will always be refreshed with titles that truly interest you. This works with decorative objects, kitchen utensils, cleaning products, any category. The important thing is to develop the habit of thinking about flow, balanced input and output. Your home will thank you, and so will you. Tip 6. The ideal space visualization method. Before you lift a finger, take a few minutes to clearly visualize how you want each room to look. This step is crucial and will facilitate all your decisions during the organizing process. Many people start without a clear vision of the end result and end up getting lost along the way. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Imagine yourself entering the room you want to organize, but already transformed. How do you feel in this space? What sensations does it convey? What objects do you see? How are they arranged? Pay attention to the details, the lighting, the sense of spaciousness, the ease of movement. If you're organizing your living room, visualize yourself relaxing in it after a tiring day. What elements are present? A comfortable armchair, a small tea table, some plants, organized books. What elements are not present? Stacks of old magazines, useless objects, furniture that obstructs circulation. This visualization acts as a natural filter. When you're deciding whether to keep or discard an object, ask yourself, does this item fit my vision of the ideal space? If the answer is no, you already know what to do. If it's yes, you found something that deserves to stay and have a special place. This gives you greater clarity in decision-making, reduces time spent organizing, ensures more satisfactory results, and creates environments that truly reflect your personality and needs. Tip 7. The 5 senses technique. A truly harmonious environment doesn't just appeal to the eye, but involves all 5 senses. Every object in your home should positively contribute to at least one of your senses, or else it doesn't deserve to be there. This perspective will completely transform the way you evaluate your belongings. Start with your vision. Look around and identify objects that are visually pleasing versus those that cause visual clutter. An item may be functional, but if its appearance bothers you or creates clutter, it may be time to replace it with something more harmonious. For tactile sensations, consider the textures present. Do you have soft pillows, comfortable rugs, or pleasant surfaces? Rough or uncomfortable objects can be reconsidered. A soft blanket can be much more valuable than 3 hard, dull pillows. The sense of smell is often overlooked, but extremely important. Objects that absorb bad odors, such as old fabrics that can't be cleaned properly, should be discarded. Prioritize items that contribute to a pleasant-smelling environment. Natural plants, fresh fabrics, and materials that don't retain odors. For hearing, consider how objects affect acoustics. Fabrics and rugs can improve the sound of the room, while very hard surfaces can make it uncomfortable to hear. And finally, taste is related to kitchen utensils. Keep only those that truly contribute to pleasurable dining experiences. Tip 8. The principle of circular energy. Energy needs to flow freely through your home, and unnecessary objects create blocks in that flow. Imagine that energy is like running water. It needs unobstructed paths to flow smoothly. When you accumulate unnecessary things, it's like placing stones in the middle of a stream. In practice, this means keeping the pathways in your home clear. Hallways should be free of furniture that forces you to constantly detour. Tables and surfaces shouldn't be cluttered. Each room should have breathable spaces where energy can circulate. If you have the habit of leaving objects on the floor, even temporarily, you're creating energetic blockages. Clothes draped over chairs, books scattered across the table, and utensils out of place interfere with the natural flow. The secret is to create systems where each object has its designated place and returns to it after use. Also, pay attention to the corners of your home. Corners that accumulate forgotten objects become points of stagnant energy. Clean these spaces regularly, and if possible, place elements that activate energy, such as plants or decorative objects that you truly appreciate. Circular energy also applies to constant renewal. Just as stagnant water can become cloudy, environments that never change can develop a sense of stagnation. Change small elements occasionally, move plants around, rotate decorative objects, or slightly rearrange furniture. Before moving on to the next tip, I want to tell you about something special I've prepared for those who want to go beyond this video. It's a complete guide with organization secrets that completely transformed my home and can transform yours too. The link is in the pinned comment, and for a limited time, I'm offering a special discount for channel subscribers. Now, let's move on to the next tips, which are some of my favorites. Tip 9. The rule of multiple functionality. Stop cluttering your home with objects that only do one thing. Objects that serve a single specific function rarely deserve space in a well-organized home. The key is to value versatile items that can be useful in multiple ways. Think about how many kitchen tools you have that do only one thing. That peeler, specifically for tomatoes, the slicer that only works for eggs. Meanwhile, a good knife can peel tomatoes, cut eggs, and perform dozens of other functions. That's spatial intelligence. Instead of having a desk just for your computer, a separate study desk, and a craft bench, how about investing in a high-quality desk that serves all these functions? With smart organization, you can switch between activities in the same space. In the living room, an ottoman can serve as extra seating, a footrest, an occasional coffee table, and even provide interior storage. This is much more valuable than having 3 different pieces of furniture for each function. When it comes to clothing, prioritize pieces that can be worn on multiple occasions. A quality dress shirt can be worn at work, at social events, or casually. This is smarter than having 5 different shirts for different occasions. Not only do you save space, but you also reduce time spent on maintenance and cleaning. Fewer objects means less to organize, clean, and worry about. Tip 10. The seasonal rotation method. You don't need all your belongings accessible all the time. By organizing your belongings by season or period of use, you keep your home functional without having to discard items that are useful at specific times. Many people find it difficult to discard items they use occasionally, but need during certain seasons. Winter clothes in the summer, themed decorations, and seasonal sports equipment can all be organized on a rotating basis. Set aside a specific space for out-of-season items. This could be a section of your closet, storage boxes, or a small storage area. The important thing is that they're accessible when needed, but don't take up primary space when not in use. At the end of winter, store heavy coats, extra blankets, and heating equipment in a designated place. Instead, bring in lighter clothing, fans, and summer-related items. This keeps your home functional for the current season. Rotation also works with decorative objects. Instead of keeping the same decor year-round, have themed sets that rotate according to the season. This regularly refreshes the energy of your home and allows you to make better use of the decorative objects you have. For kitchen appliances, identify which ones you use most in summer versus winter. This rotation keeps your kitchen optimized for your current needs. Tip 11. The sacred space technique. Every home needs at least one space that's completely yours, free of unnecessary objects and dedicated to your well-being. This concept will transform a corner of your home into a true personal sanctuary. It doesn't have to be big. It could be a special armchair with a small table, a corner of the room with pillows, or a small area in the garden. The important thing is that it's a place where you can sit, breathe, and feel completely at peace. In this sacred space, keep only objects that truly nourish your soul. An inspiring book, a plant you love to care for, a special teacup, an object with spiritual meaning. Avoid anything related to work, problems, or obligations. Creating this space helps you understand the difference between truly necessary objects and those that are just taking up space. When you experience how liberating it is to have a completely clean and intentional environment, it becomes easier to apply this principle to the rest of your home. Set aside a few minutes each day to spend time in this space, to meditate, read, drink tea, or simply breathe in silence. This regular practice connects you with the sense of peace that a well-organized environment can provide. Over time, you'll want to expand this feeling to other rooms. Each room may have its own personality, but all can share that quality of intentionality that makes a space truly special. Tip 12. The principle of functional beauty. Stop separating beauty from functionality as if they were enemies. The most valuable objects are those that fulfill a practical function and also contribute to the visual harmony of the space. A well-designed plan can be as decorative as it is functional. Look at your current decorative objects. How many are just for show? Now imagine replacing them with items that are equally beautiful but also useful. A decorative bowl could hold keys or fruit. A pretty vase could hold a real plant instead of artificial flowers. In the kitchen, prioritize utensils you enjoy seeing. Well-designed cutting boards can be displayed and used as decoration when not in use. Clear glass jars can store ingredients and create an interesting visual composition. For clothing, choose pieces that you consider beautiful and that are also comfortable and practical. There's no point in keeping clothes that you think are beautiful but never wear because they're uncomfortable, nor practical clothes that make you feel bad. This approach not only optimizes space, but also ensures you're surrounded only by objects you truly appreciate. When everything around you is functional and beautiful, your home becomes a place you genuinely enjoy being. Tip 13. The rule of object relationships. Just as we have relationships with people, we also develop relationships with objects, and some of these relationships can be toxic. This technique teaches you to evaluate whether these relationships are healthy or whether some objects are taking up unnecessary emotional space. There are objects that make us feel good every time we see or use them. These deserve to be in our home. There are others that make us feel guilty, sad, or remind us of moments we'd rather forget. These need to be re-evaluated honestly. You may have a piece of clothing that was your old size and that you keep hoping to wear again, but every time you see it, you feel bad about yourself. This item is creating a toxic relationship. It would be healthier to donate it and, if necessary, buy a new piece in the future. Or perhaps you have a gift from someone who no longer plays a positive role in your life. Holding on to this item can be a way of holding on to past energies that don't contribute to your current life. It's okay to let go of gifts that no longer have meaning. To identify healthy relationships, pay attention to your emotional reactions. When you see or use a certain item, do you feel joyful, grateful, or at least neutral? Or do you feel heaviness, sadness, or discomfort? Your emotions are reliable indicators of which objects deserve to be in your life. Tip 14. The preventive maintenance method. Instead of doing occasional major cleanings that leave you exhausted, develop a daily maintenance system that prevents clutter from creeping back in. This approach is much more efficient and less stressful. The key is to create micro routines that naturally integrate into your day. Every time you leave a room, take a quick look and see if there's anything out of place that can be fixed in under 2 minutes. These small, consistent adjustments keep your home organized. Develop the habit of never leaving a room empty-handed. If you're going from the living room to the kitchen, take that cup from the coffee table. If you're going up to the bedroom, carry that book that was on the stairs. These small gestures prevent clutter. Create a 5-minute bedtime routine. Take a quick walk around the house and put everything in its proper place. Put away items left on furniture, return utensils to their proper places, and straighten pillows and blankets. Waking up to an organized home significantly improves your mood. Once a week, do a quick assessment of each room, not to deep clean, but to identify if any new items have arrived and need a designated place, or if something you thought you'd use isn't being used. This preventative maintenance also includes being mindful of what you bring into your home. Before buying anything new, consider where it will live and whether you really need it. Tip 15. The philosophy of continuous renewal. The true secret to detachment isn't perfect organization once, but developing a mindset of constant renewal. Your home should be a living organism that transforms with you, always reflecting who you are in the present moment. Understand that you are constantly evolving. Your tastes change, your needs transform, your life projects are renewed. It's natural that the objects around you need to keep up with these changes as well. Resisting this is what creates the feeling of heaviness and unnecessary accumulation. Develop a healthy curiosity about your own consumption and accumulation patterns. Notice when you tend to hoard things unnecessarily. Is it when you're stressed, when you feel insecure, when you're bored? Knowing your triggers helps you make more informed choices. Celebrate every small change you make in your home. When you donate an item, rearrange a space, or create a new system, recognize that you're taking care of yourself and your well-being. This makes the process enjoyable rather than painful. Remember that the goal isn't to have an empty home, but rather an intentional one. Every object that remains should have a clear purpose, useful, beautiful, or emotionally meaningful. Anything that doesn't fit into these categories can go to someone who will make better use of it. Finally, share this philosophy with those around you. When you live more consciously and organized, you inspire others to do the same. Your home becomes an example of how it's possible to live with less stuff and more joy. We've reached the end of this transformative journey through 15 detachment tricks that can revolutionize your home and your life. Each of these techniques carries centuries of wisdom on how to live more consciously and harmoniously, free from the unnecessary weight that objects can bring. Remember that detachment isn't about having less for the sake of having less, but about making room for more life, more joy, more peace. When you remove the unnecessary, you create space for what truly matters. Your home becomes a reflection of your best self, a place that nourishes your soul instead of draining your energy. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these techniques caught your attention the most? Which will you start applying today? Tell us in the comments what your biggest takeaway from this video was and how you plan to transform your home. And if this content was helpful to you, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. Your transformation journey is just beginning, and I'll be here to support you every step of the way.